Hi, it's me, Heidi Heilig, Epic Reads current author, book wrecker in residence, and your local crazy person. Yes, it's true. Those of you who know me know that I'm quite open about being bipolar. I've had my struggles with it, but it's part of who I am, like having brown eyes or loving books, except a little bit higher maintenance, to put it mildly. But this is not a video about all of my fantastic bad ideas. This is a video about great books to read. Specifically, amazing YA books about mental health. Books about mental health are evergreen, but especially now with the darker days of winter coming on and possible holiday stressors, they're especially important. Now, it would be the epitome of tacky behavior to recommend one of my own books, such as For a Muse of Fire, featuring a bipolar shadow player who has the power to bind the souls of the dead to her shadow puppets. But like I said, sometimes my bad ideas sound really good in my head. Plus, the cover is super shiny, and it's full of gorgeous ephemera. On to the real Rex. First up, Bruja Born by Zoraida Cordova. This is the second book in the Brooklyn Brujas series, the first of which was Labyrinth Lost, and you do not have to have read it to adore Bruja Born, but why not read it anyway? This novel follows the story of the second sister, Lula Mortiz, and her power is healing. But her spells don't work to fix her own PTSD and the scars that she has both inside and out after her time imprisoned in Los Lagos. Still, her life is looking up thanks to her sweet boyfriend Max, until, out of the blue, one day he breaks up with her. Things get even worse when the bus they're riding on crashes, leaving Max dead along with most of Lula's classmates. But here is Lula, and her power is healing. But Lula is left alive, and the one thing she can do is heal. So, together with her sisters, she confronts death herself to bring Max back. But a spell that strong can't help but go awry, and the girls have to face the consequences of their choices, which includes zombies in Brooklyn. This is a thrilling book about sisterhood and healing and acceptance, and the ways that your mind can trick you into making bad choices that you have to clean up later. Just so you know, my content notes for this one include the bus crash, gore, self-harm for blood magic, and grief and trauma. That's Bruja Born by Zoraida Cordova. Next up, Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. Darius is a chubby, clinically depressed, half-Persian, tea-drinking outcast who prefers watching Star Trek to playing soccer, at least at first. Because when Darius's grandfather, his Babu, is diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor, Darius travels to Iran for the first time to meet his mother's side of the family. He also meets a boy his age named Sarab, and they soon become fast friends. Sarab helps Darius feel at home, and the way Yads is described on the page, with the sights, the sounds, the smells, the food, you will feel at home as well. This is a lovely book about feeling at home in a place that you've never been before, and making best friends from strangers, and learning how to be the you that you never knew that you were. That's Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. Third book? Third. Yeah, I think so. That's Bleeding Violet by Dia Reeves. This is definitely a darker book, full of ghosts and madness and bad choices that are probably pretty relatable to some of my fellow bipolar babies. Main character Hannah is unmedicated and dealing with hallucinations and violent mania. And after her aunt's attempt to hospitalize her against her will, she runs away to the town of Portero, where her estranged mother wants nothing to do with her. But Hannah refuses to leave, so mother and daughter strike a deal. Hannah has 2 weeks to fit in and make friends, and if she does, she can stay. But that's not as cut and dried as it sounds in a town where doorways to other worlds open up and let in bloodthirsty monsters. Or do they? Hannah is a beautifully written, unreliable narrator with a dark sense of humor, and the plot is full of action and twists as Hannah tries to prove herself to the parent who doesn't want her. These family dynamics might be very familiar to people living with mental illness, but in this case, there are darker machinations afoot. That's Bleeding Violet by Dia Reeves. Next book I have for you, Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So, in her day-to-day existence, Eliza Merck is shy and weird and friendless and suffers from anxiety and depression. But none of that matters to her because online she has a rich community of friends and admirers as the anonymous creator of a very popular webcomic called The Monstrous Sea. Her two worlds collide when a new boy named Wallace transfers to her school. He's cute and awkward and just so happens to write popular fanfic about her comic. He makes her think that there's maybe something to this whole in real life thing that her parents keep pushing. But when her secret is revealed to the whole world, everything starts to fall apart in the face of the pressure that brings. This is an adorable shippy romance full of mixed media that you can absolutely fly through, but it also deals with the darker side of depression and fandom, including intrusive thoughts. An all-around amazing book. That's Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Last up, to leave you on a gorgeous, nostalgic, heartbreaking note, Summerbird Blue by Kemi Dawn Bowman. It kind of has me at a loss for words because the author uses them so beautifully that how can I possibly compare? I'll try. This is a book about Rumi, who loves two things: writing music and her sister Lee, who writes with her. Then Lee is killed in a car crash and Rumi's entire world is turned upside down. Both Rumi and her mom are dealing with grief and survivor's guilt, and so her mother sends her to Hawaii to live with an aunt while they both recover. Now Rumi has to find a way to heal thousands of miles from home, but she has help in a local surfer boy who doesn't take anything too seriously, and an older grandpa type who never quite got over his own losses. And Rumi starts to feel the music of the islands as she tries to finish the song that she and her sister only got a chance to start. So one other thing that's true about me is that I'm from Hawaii, and it really was beautiful to me to see Bowman capture the local slang called pidgin on the page. Bowman's lyrical descriptions of the islands really brought me home, and her exploration of grief and healing and depression was just so moving. That's Summerbird Blue by Kemi Dawn Bowman. There you have it. 6 amazing books about mental illness, 5 of which I'm recommending for absolutely selfless reasons. Now, I try to joke around and be funny, but on a more serious note, if you need help, please tell a friend or a trusted family member, or call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. They also have an online chat version. The world is a better place with you in it. So stick around to tell your story or just to talk books. Do you have a favorite book about mental health? Tell me so in the comments below. And I'll see you next time on Epic Reads.